The heat is on.
Our heat warning extends from the Ottawa Valley all the way across the 401 corridor, more or less.
It's really hot. It's like a sauna out here.
Into the weekend and beyond. A heat warning will have Ottawa residents sweating it out through several consecutive days of 30 plus. Launching with Laney. Overall, a smooth opening night at Bluesfest. As headliner Hosier set to take the stage tonight, Turnstile, Alan Doyle, and That Don't Impress Me. Shania Twain will round out an impressive weekend lineup. And they just want to work.
It's really hard. We've been looking around. Nothing is really coming.
It's actually been incredibly difficult.
Young people struggling to find jobs, as new jobless data suggests Gen Z is having a tougher time than the rest of us. Good evening. We begin tonight with the sweltering temperatures in the capital, a heat wave now blanketing Ottawa and much of the province. And the hot and humid weather is expected to stick around for several days, prompting Environment Canada to issue a heat warning. CTV's Kimberly Fowler joins us now with more. Kimberly.
Not just out there in here as well, Patricia. Now, the normal temperatures for this time of year, and they usually reach about 27 degrees and a low of 16. But get ready, the city is expected to experience about a week of above average temperatures, with the humidity making it feel like 35 to 40. A heat warning is in place for Ottawa and across eastern Ontario, and tomorrow is expected to be the hottest day. The forecast calls for daytime highs of up to 32 degrees until next Thursday. There will be a little bit of relief in the overnight, with temperatures only dropping between 19 and 23 degrees. Now, we spoke with some people in the capital today on this first day of the heat wave. Here's some of what they had to say.
It's really hot. It's like a sauna out here. Just waiting for our food, just sitting in the air-conditioned car because it's unbearable right now.
The heat is not great, and the only way for me to cool down is to eat ice cream.
I think it's really hot, and it's very hard to work in.
Environment Canada says prolonged heat waves for this part of the province are not typical.
So it's not something we've never seen, but it is on the riverside to have such a long duration of it. Our heat warning extends from the Ottawa Valley all the way across the 401 corridor, more or less, straight through to Windsor. And so the same air mass is affecting northeast of the United States as well.
Environment Canada also advises everyone to stay hydrated. Early signs of heat exhaustion include headaches, nausea, dizziness, thirst, dark urine, and intense fatigue. And the agency also says to check in on older adults, those living alone, and other at-risk people in person or on the phone multiple times a day, especially if they don't have air conditioning. Patricia.
You're right about how warm it is in here, too, Kimberly. We're both questioning our decisions to wear jackets tonight. CTV's Kimberly Fowler fanning off for us tonight. Thanks so much for that. As we take a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam, it is 30 degrees out there right now. And you know that Jackie knew exactly what the weather was going to be like outside and inside because she opted not to wear the jacket tonight. Very smart.
No, thank you. And sorry in advance for how you're feeling, because it is a little bit airy without the jacket. So I love the choices that we made today. So make sure you make those good choices as we head to the rest of the weekend, because again, it is going to be hot, humid, a heat warning in effect for it stretching, as we mentioned, not just from Windsor, but all the way to Montreal and here in the capital, as well as Smiths Falls, Brockville, and for all of eastern Ontario. We're going to have the prolonged heat of humidex levels between 35 and 40. So stay hydrated. Just try to keep out of the sunlight as much as you can. But if you are going out, make sure that you take times to stay in the shade and to get a little bit of a break. Now, right now, temperatures sitting about 30 degrees. So not just here in Ottawa, but also for the Seaway as well. Again, factor in that humidity. It's feeling closer to the mid 30s. Now, what can we expect for the next couple of days? Well, Saturday, it will be the hottest day with temperatures feeling closer to 40, 42. And Sunday, yes, 30 degrees a daytime high, but still the humidity is going to remain very high with the temperatures feeling closer to 38, 42. There will be a slight reprieve on Monday. It's going to be sunny, but it's still going to feel like 33 to 35. And again, we won't be seeing conditions cool down until probably by the end of next week. And will we get rain in the forecast? Well, this weekend is looking pretty clear, but we could see some spots of some isolated showers. Those details in just a little bit. Patricia.
All right. Thank you, Jackie. Well, it will be a hot night for the thousands of people attending Ottawa Bluesfest. Organizers say opening night last night was a massive success, and they're hoping tonight's show with Hosier headlining goes the same way. CTV's Josh Morano found out a lot of people have been waiting for this and joins us live with more. Josh.
Yeah, Patricia, event organizers told me today they hope the rest of Bluesfest goes exactly like it did last night with no major issues reported. They're expecting a crowd of around 20,000 people tonight.
It's been a long wait for this group of friends hanging out at the Bluesfest front gates since 8 a.m.
I like to be right at the front. Yeah. I waited 14 hours before in the UK, ready to do it again.
They came prepared with a tent to brave the heat, all to see their favorite artist, Hosier.
Right now it's already like kind of hitting on me. Yeah, and then we're like once we get in, it's still another like 4 hours under the sun, but it's worth it.
It's their first time attending Bluesfest, and expectations are high after hearing how smoothly opening night went.
We came all the way from Stittsville, which is a little bit of a trek. Some of these others live downtown, but it was really smooth. The new LRT train was really smooth from Tunney's Pasture, and we got here in record time. It was great.
We're so excited to be here, hanging out with y'all tonight, Ottawa.
Headlining opening night, Lainey Wilson, in front of nearly 25,000 fans. According to police and event organizers, no major problems were reported. In fact, the biggest, a missing cowboy boot, which was found and will be returned.
The flow getting out goes really well. Everybody's had a great time, and so they're in a good mood and they're leaving, and that went really well. And it generally does most nights. It's just that inflow situation where everybody's got to go through the same gates and get checked off. We want people to come down early, so that goes quick.
Public transit was very busy because of no on-site parking. An OC Transpo representative says service operated just as planned.
Expecting great shows again tonight. Really encouraging people, of course, to use public transit to get down here. OC Transpo ran really well last night. The Pimlico station was great. Again, it's crowded when you leave. That's what happens at festivals and big concerts, right?
But for this group, they say finding a way home is a problem to be solved after the concert.
Very excited for it. Please come say hi to us, please.
Looking ahead to this weekend, where Turnstile will be headlining Saturday, followed up by Shania Twain on Sunday, which is expected to be the busiest show yet. Patricia.
Couple of questions here. What are you doing that you lose a boot? Leave
How do
it
you not
behind?
notice?
And 8 a.m. Wild. I mean, some great shows. I can't imagine lining up for any of them at 8 a.m., but good on them. CTV's Josh Morano reporting live for us tonight. Thanks so much. And take a look at this. Go west, young man, or east? An OC Transpo sign guiding those exiting Bluesfest was not particularly helpful. A translation error directing people to go east in English and west in French to head downtown. OC Transpo confirming the incorrect signs have been removed and replaced. And we have extended coverage of everything you need to know. If you are heading to Ottawa Bluesfest, you can find those details on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Still ahead is Hollywood North moving east. Why so many movies are being filmed right here in the nation's capital. That story coming up.
Well, turning now to major developments out of the White House as Canada and the U.S. try to work towards a new trade deal. President Donald Trump is not only doubling down on tariffs, he's upping his threat, promising to hit Canada with the across-the-board 35% tariffs starting next month. As CTV's Colton Prale reports, some are now wondering if a deal is even possible.
After weeks of pushing for a trade deal, Canada is staring down an even bigger threat.
Frankly, the friends have been worse than the foes in many cases. So
President Donald Trump now says he'll put in place 35% tariffs beginning August 1st. The White House says it wouldn't apply to energy tariffs or goods covered by the free trade agreement. But the president hasn't confirmed that.
we're going to see. It was sent yesterday. They called. I think it was fairly well received, but it's what we need. So we'll see what happens.
While some critics say the Liberals need to follow through on the elbows up mantra, Ottawa argues it is.
Canada is the only country on earth, along with China, that has imposed so many counter tariffs. So we have had already a very strong response.
Canada didn't retaliate when Trump increased tariffs on steel and aluminum and gave up billions foregoing collection of the digital sales tax after the president ended trade talks over the issue.
Carney's keeping his mind very much on the end game, which is to secure that economic and security framework with the United States.
Since last month, Canada's target for a trade deal has shifted. July 16th quickly became July 21st. And now Canada says the new target is August 1st, before counter tariffs will be applied. But it's the day before that deadline that could make all the difference. That's when the U.S. Supreme Court is set to decide if Trump's executive order tariffs are legal.
The last possible hope for Canada. We can't trust a deal with the president. Our only hope is the courts or Congress. And if we lose the courts, well, then we know where we stand.
The court decision won't impact tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, autos, or copper, all of which were applied under a different measure. Colton Prale, CTV News, Ottawa.
And the near constant tariff whiplash over the past few months has many wondering if President Trump will eventually back down on this latest threat, with some residents and local businesses choosing to tune out the chaos altogether. CTV's Natalie Van Roy joins us now with more on the local side of this. Natalie.
Well, Patricia, many people are skeptical these tariffs will actually come into effect after so many changes coming out of the White House over the past few months.
Teenagers, they're the next ones.
At Black Rapids Dairy Farm, business is strong.
I do know that the Canadian consumers want Canadian dairy products, and they want a lot of Canadian products. So, we're just part of the little clog.
Peter Reuter says he's not fazed by the latest threat from President Trump to impose a 35% tariff on all Canadian goods.
Almost learned to ignore them, and we have to pay attention to him. I'm not saying that, but to worry about every word he says. Let's see what he actually does and what he wants. We really haven't been affected because we supply the Canadian market.
As the months-long trade war drags on, many are left feeling frustrated and unsure about how things will end.
I think it's just going to make things worse overall, and it's helping no one.
He cares nothing about deals. He will not respect anything. He's strictly out to control his section.
Others still trying to buy Canadian and support local businesses.
It certainly makes me want to support Canadian tourism a little more than we used to. We had the choice this summer to go to Maine or to come to Eastern. We're from the Maritimes, and we came to Canada instead. That was an easy choice. A lot easier than last summer.
The Buy Canadian movement having a positive impact at Black Rapids Dairy Farm.
I'm actually more and more in tune with the supplies I buy. No, that's not a Canadian supplier. I'm going to choose a Canadian supplier instead. I think as an industry, as a whole country, we have to just remember to keep going. We have to be proud of what we have and make ourselves the great country we are.
Meanwhile, as this drags on, the Prime Minister's office announced there will be a cabinet meeting on Tuesday to discuss ongoing Canada-U.S. trade negotiations. Patricia.
CTV's Natalie Van Roy live for us tonight. Thank you. And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the ongoing trade war and the tariff threats from President Trump. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News Channel at any hour. Ottawa residents are gathering for a vigil this evening to remember a 27-year-old woman who died Monday after being struck by a pickup truck at a crosswalk at Elgin and Laurier. This latest tragedy reviewing calls for the city to take action to improve safety for pedestrians at that intersection. CTV's Tyler Fleming reports.
She was 27. She had just gotten her permanent residence here.
Marna Nightingale is reflecting on the loss of Salani Adawadagar, an only child from India.
She was supporting her single mother back home.
On Monday, the 27-year-old was hit by a pickup truck while walking at a crosswalk at Elgin and Laurier. A GoFundMe in memory of Adawadagar says she was a kind soul who was building a life filled with hope, love, and purpose.
One death is way too many.
Nightingale is hosting a vigil Friday honoring Adawadagar and raising concern over what many call a dangerous intersection.
There are a lot of lanes. There's no advanced green for pedestrians. and people get impatient.
This is a terrible intersection. It's very poorly laid out for such a busy corner downtown.
In 2018, a cyclist was killed by a vehicle.
Protecting vulnerable road users never seems to be that case, unless it is right after a deadly crash.
A redesigned intersection was slated for last year.
And that's what makes me deeply sad, because if it had been completed, I really wonder if this terrible accident would have happened.
Councillor Ariel Troster says construction was stalled by federal and provincial red tape. It is now approved. Work starts this year.
This is a $5 million project. It is a major reconstruction of the intersection, but it's a priority. It shouldn't take one death and now 2 deaths for us to take action. And also, as a city, how do we fix the most dangerous spots in our city?
Safety advocates agree.
And make sure that we're allocating the budget needed to maybe get these projects done a little bit earlier, instead of waiting 10, 15, 20 years down the line.
This is the end of a bike lane, and as you can see, it is a foot wide.
Nightingale says immediate action is needed.
My hope with this vigil is that the city will take seriously the consequences of the delays and the ways in which they endlessly compromise safe roads.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
An Ottawa police officer has been demoted for 16 months for assaulting a handcuffed teenager at Chio nearly 3 years ago. According to an agreed statement of facts, the mother of a 13-year-old boy called police in November 2022, saying the child was out of control in their home. Police took the boy to Chio, where Constable Omer Khan assaulted him in a hallway. Khan pleaded guilty to assault in criminal court last year. Ottawa police are looking for witnesses after a fatal collision near Richmond yesterday afternoon. An SUV and motorcycle collided on Huntley Road near Mansfield Road just after 4 p.m. Bystanders and emergency responders performed life-saving measures on the motorcycle rider, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. He has not been identified, but police say he was a man in his 40s. No one else was injured. Investigators are looking to speak with anyone who witnessed the crash or who may have dash cam footage. And a motorcyclist has died from his injuries after a crash in South Glengarry Township last weekend. A 23-year-old man from Quebec was found in a ditch on County Road 2 near Brodeur Road Sunday night. He was transported to hospital where he died earlier this week. Witnesses reported a car described as a black Honda Civic or Accord driving dangerously in the area at the time of the crash. It's not known if the vehicle was involved. OPP are asking anyone with information to contact them. A 60-year-old man was seriously injured in an assault in Gatineau this morning. Police were called to a home on Promenade Lakeview in Aylmer around 6:15 a.m. A suspect was arrested at the scene. Police say investigators are interviewing several people to determine what led to the altercation. Well, police are investigating after human remains were discovered in Pembroke in the area of Riverside Park. OPP say there is no threat to public safety and no indication of foul play. The identity of the person has not been released. While Canada's overall unemployment rate is down, Ottawa's local economy lost 10,000 jobs last month. The situation is even more bleak for students looking for work, with youth unemployment at its highest rate since 2009. CTV's Camille Wilson reports.
I've been applying online and in person, and there's no jobs.
Awa Jamonde, a student still on the hunt for a summer job in July.
I've been talking to a friend about this, and it's really hard. We've been looking around.
New data from Statistics Canada reports the jobless rate for youth ages 15 to 24 is now over 17%. That's the highest rate in June for young people in almost 2 decades. Ben Sullivan was lucky to get a job.
I was successful. Networking and being involved in clubs is very important for that, but I know so many folks, my siblings and some of my smartest friends, who have really found it very hard right now. I'm just trying to do some investment banking stuff, and for that you have to apply like 9 months in advance. So I remember the previous winter semester, I must have sent off like 300-400 job applications.
Ottawa's jobless rate for June is 6.2%, with the thousands of job losses increasing the struggle to find work. The Grand in the Byron Market hires students for the summer season.
We get a lot of applications for both locations now, online and in person. There's a lot of applications coming in still, even we're halfway through the summer, and a lot of applications come in from both students and foreign workers. Probably about 20 a week.
The youth job market was hampered this summer by changes to the Canada Summer Job Program.
They recommend applying from January if you're a summer co-op student, and I did. And I applied to probably 15, 20, probably got back heard back from 3, got back 2 interviews, but I didn't successfully get any.
I was like looking for a job for like the past couple months because I wasn't going back to my past job. But yeah, it took a while, but I finally got a job.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
You can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on the unemployment rates here in Ottawa and right across the country.
Go at business as stronger as ever.
Well, Christmas in July is a gift that is giving again. Ottawa, well known as a backdrop for Christmas movies, is seeing a bump in production for a variety of TV and movie shoots. We'll tell you why. Coming up. Jackie.
Thanks, Patricia. Heading to Bluesfest tonight. Well, by the time Hosier hits the stage, temperatures are going to be about 23 degrees and no rain in sight, or at least forecasted. There will be a few clouds, though. And then tomorrow, the heat wave continues and will likely stretch for the next couple of days. A live look now through our Centennial Glass sky cam. It is 30 degrees out with a hazy sky upon us, but with the humidity feeling closer to 34.
Ottawa is my home, and like many of you, I've always turned to CTV News for the latest local news. We cover the local stories that matter to you.
Live, local, breaking CTV News with Patricia Bowl.
Well, not quite as thick out there on the roads as it was in the 5 o'clock hour. Most of you making your way home, starting your weekend plans off to the cottage, the campground, or perhaps the back porch. It's lights, camera, action in Ottawa this summer, set to be a record-breaking one for the city's film industry. After tariffs almost put things on pause, production is now heating up again with a number of TV shows and movies set to feature some spots you will recognize. Here's CTV's Kimberly Johnson.
Filming is underway for Gang de Hockey. The French-Canadian TV show is in its 3rd season, and Ottawa's Tom Brown Arena is the backdrop.
I think Ottawa has so much to potential for production. We have landscaping facilities, well-trained crews.
And earlier this week, Murdoch Mysteries was filming near Parliament. There are 8 TV shows and movies being filmed in Ottawa in July, with 8 set for August.
Compared to last summer, we are 25%, there is a 25% increase, which is huge. It's great. We had a slow start of 2025. But summer is going to be as busy as ever, even busier than 2022, which was our record year.
The Ottawa Film Office says earlier this year the threat of Trump's tariffs led to a slow start in production, but now things are ramping up.
It brought some uncertainty to the film industry, not just in Ottawa, globally in Canada, but also internationally. But then when I was at the Cannes Film Festival, people were optimistic again. They were like, you know what, we got to go with the flow.
It's a $120 million industry in Ottawa. And while it's not a large market compared to other Canadian cities, the capital is known for its holiday film locations.
If it keeps up like this, we'll have a great year here in town.
Still, it's not certain whether the film industry will eventually feel the impact of tariffs.
You know, like I think we need to stay strong, or we need to have a cool head on and go at business as stronger as ever.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
Well, it's not just the movie industry that is hot in Ottawa this summer. It's all of us. Certainly a hot and humid start to the weekend in the capital. Again, that heat warning is in effect. Things feeling very sticky out there tonight, but it will be even hotter tomorrow. That is the worst of it in terms of the feels like temperature. We're going to see that get up close to 40, Jackie, I think, in that range.
I mean, maybe even higher for some parts of it. That picture or that view of that lake looked pretty nice to
jump right in, yeah.
And a lot of people will probably want to do that tomorrow. Taking a look now at the temperatures, a heat warning in effect for most of the parts of southern Ontario, all the way up to Montreal. So really, most of eastern Ontario going to be basking in what will be a hot weekend. Now, currently temperatures sitting at 30 degrees. Environment Canada reporting that there is still a slight chance that we could see some isolated pop-up showers come about, but by the time 9 o'clock rolls around, we are in for some few clouds in store. So another look at the next 24 hours. Tomorrow already starting off hot at 22 degrees, mainly sunny conditions. It is going to be a little bit of an increase in cloud by the midday, and then we are tracking that there could be some scattered showers for the afternoon of tomorrow, but it is quickly moving away from the region. So by the time the evening rolls around, we're in for some clear skies. It really is Sunday that we want to talk about. We are tracking a system that is coming from the northern part of Ontario, and it's moving in Sunday by the mid-afternoon. And so around 1 o'clock, we could see a lot of active weather just north of Ottawa, so around Maniwaki, Mont Tremblant, as well as Wakefield area. So that we could expect heavy downpour for the afternoon and into the evening as well. So you might want your umbrella or even your rain boots when you head out to Shania for Sunday's concert at Bluesfest. Tonight's lows 18 degrees, clear conditions, very similar for Brockville as well as Cornwall. Meanwhile, Kingston sitting at 20 degrees for the overnight lows. Petawawa as well as Pembroke sitting around 16 degrees. And as we look to tomorrow's highs as well, temperatures are going to be around the 30, 31 degree. But again, when you look at the feels like conditions, it will feel closer to 40. We have stressed that Saturday will be the hottest day of this heat wave, but the heat warning will continue to be in effect for much longer, well into Thursday. Across the region now, you can see that the heat is making its way to Atlantic Canada. Temperatures still sitting around 20 degrees, but again, most of Ontario in the orange. So we are getting the heat wave not just here, but from southern Ontario even to northern Ontario. As we make our way to the west, though, things are starting to cool with cooler air coming in from the west. So Vancouver sitting at 22 and Regina sitting at 19. Very different from what we saw just 3 or 4 days ago. Now, as we look to this 7-day forecast, it is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. The trend for Saturday, Sunday, and well into Wednesday, we are seeing temperatures 30 degrees, even 29. We will get some precipitation for Saturday and Sunday, but Monday and Tuesday are looking nice and dry. And then the cloud is going to come in on Wednesday, which will give us hopefully a little bit of a break, and then we are going back down to seasonal conditions as we get to Thursday and Friday. Patricia.
Overall, this is a good Bluesfest forecast. I would say the 2 best days in the week, though, Monday and Tuesday, the 2 days they take off. They pause everything at LeBreton Flats, and I'm pretty sure we've seen that repeated a few times. Anyway, enjoy your Monday or Tuesday, whatever you're doing.
The speed limit is 40. They go 60.
Well, the thrill of the open road may be no more in some outlying communities. In Renfrew County, they're about to follow Ottawa's lead when it comes to tools for slowing down drivers. And we have a new pop quiz online tonight. You can test your knowledge of the week's news. Take the quiz at ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Tonight, a new phone scam on the rise.
I almost got taken, but I didn't click on the link.
Why fraud experts say AI is making these smishing text attacks harder to avoid. That story and more later on CTV National News.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, CTV Morning Live, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business. CTV News community and weather anchor Jackie Perez. Weeknights.
One of our city's most contentious traffic measures is coming to the Ottawa Valley. 3 photo radar cameras are set to be installed in Renfrew, Petawawa, and Laurentian Valley. CTV's Dylan Dyson has more on what residents think about the plan.
Residents on Raglan Street in Renfrew say drivers treat this crosswalk like a racetrack.
You just do have people that are traveling in from outside the community trying to get to where they're going, and it tends to end up being a speedway.
The speed limit is 40. They go 60. That's why the County of Renfrew is set to install a speed camera on Raglan Street. It will be one of 3 going in across the county in Renfrew, Laurentian Valley, and Petawawa, all in school zones. Sean Donaghy has lived beside the crosswalk for 20 years.
There's been multiple incidents where children have been hit
by cars that disregard the crosswalk and have been traveling at too high a speed.
There's too much speeding on Raglan Street. And when the kids come from school, it's very dangerous.
These signs notifying drivers that speed cameras are coming must be in place for 90 days before the cameras are installed. Residents here in Renfrew say these signs went up over a week ago. The fines for speeders caught will be in line with the Highway Traffic Act, with the money going back to the County of Renfrew. Many of those in the community have no problem with the cameras set to be installed.
I think it's a great idea. I really don't have any issues with that at all. I think it's a heck of a good idea.
We're pretty happy with it. The speed here has always been 40 kilometers. Usually that's disregarded by everybody driving by.
These small town residents welcoming the high-tech enforcement.
We're just a quiet community and we don't need this racing around. It just, even if I go the speed limit, there's somebody behind me that's pushing me to go faster. And then when I turn, they're like, speed right up.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News, Renfrew.
Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. Traffic in this city is about to get even worse. A section of a major arterial route is closing next week. The Queen Elizabeth driveway will be closed to vehicles between Pretoria Avenue and 5th Avenue starting Monday. It will be closed for more than 3 months for work on the 113-year-old Patterson Creek Bridge. The NCC will be repairing the concrete and railings and widening the multi-use pathway. Pedestrians and cyclists will still have access to the road. The closure forced the Ottawa Red Blacks to cancel its shuttle bus service from City Hall to TD Place this season. The road is expected to reopen on October 31st. A malfunction in the sewer collection system briefly sent sewage overflowing into the Ottawa River yesterday. The city says staff noticed the issue immediately and stopped the overflow. About 3,000 litres of raw sewage entered the water, a mere fraction of the more than 300 million litres Ottawa's water treatment plant handles daily. An investigation into the cause of the malfunction is underway.
Winner, Gagnon.
Well, it's not too late to buy a lottery ticket. Tonight's Lotto Max jackpot is worth $70 million. There are also 10 Max Millions prizes up for grabs worth $1 million each. Tickets are available until 10:30 p.m. A new pop-up exhibit featuring the story of Canadian hockey legend Guy Lafleur opened today at Place Zibi in Gatineau. The installation looks back at Lafleur's iconic career from his beginnings in Thurso, Quebec, to his time with the Montreal Canadiens. The exhibition is free and runs until August 31st.
I almost got taken, but I didn't click on the link. I don't know what would have happened if I clicked on the link.
Well, just ahead, a warning about a rise in scam texts. We'll share what experts think might be to blame and how to avoid getting caught after the break.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Bowl.
You may have noticed more scam text messages popping up on your phone in recent weeks. They're called smishing attacks, and it's getting harder to spot the scammers who are using artificial intelligence to make their bogus messages seem more legit. Here's CTV's John Vinavali-Rao.
The latest warning comes from the Competition Bureau, which says more people have been seeing those annoying scam texts pop up, claiming to be from agencies like Revenue Canada, or that you owe money for a toll highway, often including a link that scammers are trying to get you to click on. Janine Compton recently got one claiming she was caught speeding and had to pay a fine, and initially thought it might be real.
I almost got taken, but I didn't click on the link. I don't know what would have happened if I clicked on the link. I did not click. I just blocked the number.
Compton was the target of a scam known as SMS phishing or smishing. The texts often claimed to be from an actual organization or business. And while they used to contain things like spelling errors, making them easier to spot, AI services like ChatGPT are making them harder to detect.
Spelling mistakes used to be a tell, particularly when people had to write these messages themselves, and often it was people who didn't necessarily speak English as their first language.
The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre warns AI can also allow messages to be sent out at a faster rate, and warns scammers are using AI to scrape information about you from the internet.
Some of the messages may include some of your personal information as an extra way to try to convince you that it's a legitimate message, right?
The advice: never click on suspicious links, ignore texts even if asked to reply with stop or no, and forward spam text to 7726 or spam. and of course delete them to avoid accidental interaction.
But as AI technology continues to improve, more people may fall victim, which is why the Anti-Fraud Centre and others want everyone to remain vigilant. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Toronto's index of gold stocks traded close to record highs today as some nervous investors seek shelter in precious metals after the latest tariff threats from U.S. President Donald Trump. BNN Bloomberg's Andrew Bell has the details.
Hello there. The TSX Gold Mining Index rose today as bullion prices climbed again, lifted by fears of economic disarray sparked by the latest trade threats from Washington. The price of gold itself topped $3,370 US an ounce, only just down from last month's record high, north of $3,430. Over the past year, the gold stock index in Toronto has produced a fat total return of about 49%. U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to boost tariffs on Canadian imports to 35% from 25%. U.S. officials say the new rate will affect goods that don't fall under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement, but the situation remains fluid. The U.S. leader also suggested hiking levies on multiple countries. On the markets, the Canadian dollar was at 73.04 US cents. It came under pressure, losing about 1/5 of a cent. West Texas Intermediate oil changed hands at $68.54, up $1.98. Our latest fix on Western Canadian Select oil has it at $55, down $1.38. And the TSX slipped from yesterday's record closing high. It ended at 27,023.25, and it was down just over 59 points. That's the latest in business. I'm Andrew Bell of BNN Bloomberg.
People I didn't even think were really supporting me ended up watching the whole draft.
Well, just ahead, we meet a Prince Edward Island woman making history, becoming the first player from that province to be drafted to the PWHL.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Bowl. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
A hot July weekend on the way. Time now to check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
Kicking it off with Cars and Coffee Ottawa. This is tomorrow and Sunday at Lansdowne Park. If you want to see some cool, vintage, and one-of-a-kind cars, plus live local entertainment, local vendors, and even a fashion showcase, make sure you check this one out. It's a great one for the whole entire family. And next up, it is weekend number 2 of the RBC Summer Tournaments at Wesley Clover Parks, proudly supported by CTV Ottawa and Ottawa's Pure Country 94. This features the very best of Canadian show jumping. There's canine agility, local vendors, and more, including a kids zone. Tickets start at just $10, and kids 12 and under get in free. Don't forget as well that Sunday is also Dog Day. All dogs are welcome to join the dog parade following the Canine Equine Relay, and costumes are encouraged. Friends from the Freedom Dog Rescue and the Ottawa Kitten Rescue will also be on site. Lots more happening around the capital this weekend. For the full list and all the details, check out ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, I'm Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Well, hockey history has been made in Atlantic Canada. For the first time, a woman from Prince Edward Island will be playing in the PWHL next season. But before her next big play, she's already giving back, helping to build the next generation at home. CTV's Maria Saru reports.
Her nickname on the ice is Hustles, and now 22-year-old Abby Hustler is skating into the spotlight, drafted 14th overall to the Minnesota Frost. The first player from PEI to make the PWHL.
It's been crazy. I know immediately after my phone kind of blew up, and people I didn't even think were really supporting me ended up watching the whole draft.
At 3 years old, she learned the game at local rinks, playing in the province until she was a teenager, then Ontario and New York. But it wasn't until recently that Hustler could really imagine going pro.
that wasn't really an option for us.
The launch of the Professional Women's Hockey League in 2023 changed that. Now that dream can come true. And for girls from PEI, Hustler is a homegrown hero.
It was great to see someone from PEI making it to the PWHL.
Abby's just like a role model that we know personally, and she's just so genuine.
I'm proud of her. It's really inspiring for all of us.
For the last 2 summers, Hustler has been training girls aged 9 to 15, sharing her skills and showing them what's possible. There's a long wait list for this camp, and across Canada, women's and girls hockey registrations hit a new record this year, with more than 115,000 people signing up to play, coach, and officiate. Some want to skate in Hustler's tracks.
I hope to play for the Boston Fleet. I want to go to Toronto. We can have something to look forward to when we get older.
As a power forward, she's tough on the ice. But Hustler's former coach says it's a different story away from the rink.
She's got this heartfulness to her that I think people miss if they just know her as a hockey player. But a lot of that washes away to a lobsterman's daughter who just wants to really get to know you as a person.
The puck drops at training camp in November. Until then, Hustler's making sure the path she carved stays clear so other girls can shoot their shot. Maria Saru, CTV News, North Rustico, Prince Edward Island.
Well, coming up, never underestimate the gift of being able to finish what you started. The brother of Canada's most iconic Canadian closes out the National Ride of Hope. Jackie.
Thanks, Patricia. A reminder that a heat warning is in effect for most of eastern Ontario. So the humidex levels are going to be between 35 and 40 for not just for today, but well into Thursday. So some tips to keep in mind: drink plenty of fluids, limit sun exposure, as well as keep your home cool, whether that's a fan, AC, or even closing your curtains during the daytime. For now, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It is 30 degrees out right now. Kiweki Point, a great place to check out the sunset.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Bowl.
Launched a music career. We hear from Zav Trudeau Monday morning.
And we'll head to the new grocer facility, helping the Ottawa Mission grow fruits and fresh vegetables.
Wake up the right way with CTV Morning Live starting at 6 a.m. We'll see you then.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
And here's what we are following right now, the top stories we are working on.
So it's not something we've never seen, but it is on the rare side to have such a long duration event.
A heat warning is in effect for Ottawa, with the heat wave expected to continue until next Thursday.
When you go to the store and you see that blue cow, it's actually, that's product made in Canada.
The push to buy Canadian continues as U.S. President Donald Trump's latest tariff threat creates more uncertainty.
The flow getting out goes really well. Everybody's had a great time, and so they're in a good mood and they're leaving.
Organizers hoping the second night of Ottawa Bluesfest goes as smoothly as yesterday's opening night. It will be as warm as yesterday's opening night, maybe even a smidge warmer tonight, certainly warmer tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely stickier and muggier out there. And we already saw the haze if you see a skyline shot of Ottawa. So if you're heading out to LeBreton Flats, make sure you stay hydrated. Wake up conditions, 15 degrees, mainly sunny. We're getting to daytime high of 31 degrees. But with the humidity, again, a heat warning in effect, it's going to feel closer to 40, Saturday being the hottest day. There is a slight chance we could see some isolated showers throughout the afternoon, but really the heat is all anyone will be talking about for at least the next several days.
And ways to cope with the heat, enjoy it or deal with it, whatever the case. You didn't bring your fan? Okay.
No, I didn't, no.
Kimberly Fowler is looking ahead to our 11:30 news.
Yeah, I'll be watching what we've been talking about. We're talking about the weather, and we're talking about Bluesfest, a hot night here in the capital. We'll be checking in on the second night of Bluesfest. Again, it was a great opening night last night. Expected to be another great night tonight. Hosier, the headliner, 20,000 people, including many in the newsroom here. They're expected to roll through LeBreton Flats tonight. And you can, of course, get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
All right, good stuff. Thank you. We'll do that. And finally for us tonight, Terry Fox's brother, Daryl, has fulfilled the dream Terry, of course, was never able to finish completing the National Ride of Hope across Canada when he rode into St. John's yesterday.
To be on the other side really proved to me that what Terry did was incredible. I don't have words to describe it.
An emotional end to a journey honoring his brother who was forced to end his Marathon of Hope 45 years ago. Daryl and his team of cyclists started in Vancouver, biking 7,000 kilometers across the country, raising money for cancer research. They ended where Terry first started his journey by dipping his artificial leg into the Atlantic Ocean. And I can only imagine how emotional. I know we talked to Daryl here on this show when he was in Thunder Bay. He talked about that being incredibly emotional as well. It's a spot when Terry had to stop his Marathon of Hope. Didn't physically get it done, but everything that has transpired since that run is just, it's still really amazing when you look at that slice of history.
My mom, I remember her telling me a story where she took me in 1981 to Scarborough when he made his way through there. Yeah.
Beautiful. I remember watching it on the news. That's one of the first news stories I remember impacting me. I wish I'd been able to get up close and personal like that. These beautiful summer scenes out there on the water, on the bike path. A lot of people will be enjoying a little bit of summer this weekend. I hope you all have a very, very good one.